The monsters were all tied together in a line and were being led away. Daesung watched them closely when he noticed someone lying ahead. He warned them to be careful, and as he approached, he realized it was a girl. She was acting provocatively and asked him to unite with her, promising that if he did, she would reward him in some way. As Daesung reached out his hand toward her, he activated his Legion reinforcement and corruption resistance abilities. In that moment, he realized the girl was actually a demon who could create illusions. Without hesitation, he punched her with all his might. The demon was astonished that an ordinary person could resist her seductive charm. Daesung was taken aback, realizing he had nearly fallen for the demon's tricks. Just then, Leon arrived on horseback, curious about the commotion. When Daesung pointed to the demon, Leon's expression turned furious. He demanded to know if she had dared to seduce his soldier with her disgusting appearance. Frightened, the demon begged for forgiveness, but Leon refused and kicked her to the ground. He questioned how such a filthy creature could raise its voice at him. The demon continued to plead for mercy, but Leon insisted he wasn't interested in her excuses. The other demons in line were terrified, thinking that Leon was far more demonic than any of them. As they walked through the city with the demon prisoners, a man beside Leon asked if he found it strange. Leon inquired what he meant. The man replied that although they had surely achieved a great victory, the people's reactions were rather lukewarm. Even a lowly demon could easily seduce a human and corrupt them. The war against demons seemed never ending, which was why only a few elites celebrated their victory. That was the grim reality of the war against demons. Leon responded that they should make the citizens hand over the demons themselves and force them to witness the disgusting souls of the demons perish. Shocked, the boy agreed. Leon noted that although they had returned with a victory, there was no one to greet them. He spotted a red light emanating from the castle ahead, a sign of their success from the spire. As they approached the gate, 2 human guards stood watch. One of the guards ordered them to wait, stating they were not permitted in that area. In response, Leon kicked down the door, clearing a path forward. As they descended the stairs, the man asked the knight leader if it was really okay to just barge in like that. The knight replied that it was easier to let go of such worries. Just then, the boy ahead of him stopped in shock and urged them to take a look at something. When Leon and his companions turned to see, the boy wondered what that place was doing in the castle's underground. They spotted something resembling a bed. Leon speculated that this might be the secret the queen had mentioned. Realizing they were clearly hiding something, he rushed ahead to investigate, despite the others urging him to wait. Leon pulled back the curtains and found a lady lying there. The boys were taken aback, murmuring about her beauty. Leon shouted for them to resist and not to be tempted by the dark energy emanating from her. He realized that his aura wasn't having much effect in this case. In frustration, he knocked one boy to the ground, declaring that he would have to take matters into his own hands. As he prepared to confront another, Leon noticed that the night boy had a knife. He remarked on how the knight had harmed himself to resist the temptations around them. Then Leon conjured water and instructed the boy to take a deep breath, inhaling through his mouth and exhaling slowly to clear his mind. The king observed this from a distance and remarked on how remarkable it was that Leon wasn't seduced by the lady. Leon questioned what he meant, realizing that none of the other men were being tempted either. The king replied that they were used to such enchantments. Leon scoffed, insisting that it was nonsense. The queen's allure was akin to a magical curse, something they could never truly grow accustomed to. He recalled encountering someone with similar powers, the Lady of Pleasure, who sought to seduce and corrupt all living beings with her demonic allure. It was strange, he thought, as he felt a profound disgust for demons more so than anyone else, but he didn't sense that energy emanating from the queen. He wondered why the king and his men remained unfazed. Leon then placed a flower petal into a jar and called upon the divinity of dreams and death, declaring that her guardian sought her blessings. Suddenly, Plew appeared, startling the king. She acknowledged Leon's call, promising to respond to his request. Leon greeted her, referring to her as the divinity of dreams and death. Plew acknowledged him as Ariana's knight. Leon expressed that he had descended to her realm. She responded that she could indeed sense the demons of corruption causing chaos in the endless dream, creating a tainted consciousness. Dreams were something they needed to awaken from eventually, and she urged them to reveal their true selves. As she illuminated the area with a lamp, Leon could see its effects as well. He realized it revealed the presence of dead knights. Understanding dawned on him. He comprehended why he hadn't noticed them before and why their authority had gone unrecognized. They could create a world of their own, and the queen's rest must not be disturbed. The dead knights were tasked with protecting the queen and the seal. Jiong informed Leon that there were also death knights lurking at the back. Leon pondered the situation, noting that he himself was not corrupted by viciousness. If that were the case, Then the gate's dream must have originated from the queen. He concluded that if he greeted the queen, the dream would unfold naturally. Before he finished his words, the dead knight lunged at him with a sword. Leon effortlessly blocked the attack, only to find a second dead knight rushing in from the side. With a swift movement, he countered both assets, declaring that it was a one-on-one fight and questioning whether they planned to betray the honor of a knight. The dead knight retorted that they had betrayed their honor long ago. Enraged, Leon demanded to know if they truly believed they could withstand his onslaught, even while attacking from both sides. He charged at them, striking together, and then focused on one, slashing with precision. He grabbed the knight's head, forcing it back with brutal force. Leon noted that while the dead knight appeared strong, he should have been weaker after becoming undead. Yet, burdened by distorted honor and pride, they could protect nothing. He turned his sword toward the queen, causing the king's dead knight to drop to his knees in shock. Astonished that Leon had defeated their royal bodyguards with a single blow, Leon pointed the tip of his sword at him and urged him to awaken from this vain dream. If he failed to wake from it, he would be condemned to live in an absurd fantasy for eternity. With a final remark, Leon referred to the knights as foolish. As Leon prepared to attack, he sensed something strange. While everyone around him had become unfaithful, the apostles remained steadfast, prompting him to wonder why the queen had asked him to kill them all. Perhaps she wasn't the villain after all. Juan, filled with anger, demanded that the dead knight reveal what they had done to the queen. The king's dead knight rose and confessed that she had made a deal with a demon. He recalled the past when all the knights had been slain, and the queen had sustained grave injuries as well. A figure, obscured by shadows, remarked on the queen's admirable bravery and proposed a deal. She was seated on her throne, asking what the terms were. He responded that she must harbor the essence of corruption and endure the collapse of the kingdom for 100 years. If she remained uncorrupted, he would save her and her people. The queen, whose kingdom was already on the brink of ruin, felt she had no choice but to accept the offer, even knowing it might be a trap set by the demon. 5 years later, a man felt rejuvenated and puzzled as to why everyone was avoiding him, which only intensified his frustration. Meanwhile, others rushed to aid those who had been corrupted. As the queen sat on her throne, she reflected on the endless pleasure and torture that had led to the corruption of her people. More and more had lost their minds. During the day, she watched demons slaughtering her subjects, and at night, the corrupted whispered insidiously to her. She wondered what she had done. In her mind, she recalled that the first few years had been manageable, but her adversary was the great demon of pleasure, whose traps were both crafty and cunning. There were no loopholes in the deal she had accepted. Those who committed suicide to escape the contract would become spirits wandering the netherworld, and once the 100-year deal ended, everyone would become servants to corruption. Slowly, she felt herself slipping into madness as she witnessed her kingdom's decline. The essence of corruption planted within her continuously seduced her, eroding her will. After 50 years, her loyal knight could no longer resist his desires and entered her chamber. General Ricardin Buns then made a decision. He proclaimed that those unable to endure the seduction should choose to commit suicide. To protect the queen, they would pledge their allegiance, even if it meant staining their honor. Those who defied the contract with the demon would become spirits that wandered the netherworld, ultimately serving corruption at the end of the 100 years. The king's dead knight revealed that they had killed themselves to become death knights, rendering the queen's temptations ineffective against them as they sealed her away. It had been 80 years since then, and all they could manage was to allow her to sleep for half a day. Leon felt a surge of loyalty and understood why the queen had asked him to eliminate them all. At that moment, Goddess Plu contacted Leon, asking if he sensed anything unusual. He agreed, noting that the aura belonged to demons. He ordered the soldiers of the Lionheart King to rise and questioned how long they intended to remain dormant. Shaking the old man, who was visibly shocked, Leon urged them to wake up and fulfill their duties. Pliu wondered if they could continue their unfinished conversation, but before they could, guards rushed to Leon, reporting that demons had breached the castle walls. The man beside Leon was taken aback, realizing there were far too many demons. The knights prepared for battle, raising their shields in readiness. One knight recalled Leon's command to maintain their positions and deter the enemy, assuring him that if they held their ground, he would handle the threat. A demon with multiple arms taunted them, declaring that they would revel in the pleasure of pain. The demons, frenzied with anticipation, closed in, their pain transformed into twisted pleasure. As the enemy approached, Spin urged Leon to unleash a devastating attack. Leon ordered his forces to prepare, then called for his stallion. With that, the battle between hunters and demons commenced. As the demons clashed with the humans, the hunters felt an overwhelming pressure. They held on to the hope that if they could just withstand the onslaught, Leon would come to their aid. However, When one of them turned to look at Leon, he was struck by the sight before him. Leon was in a frenzy, ruthlessly cutting down the demons with a rage fueled by the Lionheart's fury. Hi guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy the content.